Greetings, viewers. Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this here channel. And hey, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Brian says happy birthday also.
Happy birthday.
All right, so now that we've got the pleasantries out of the way, as you can see, sitting next to me is Cameraman Brian, the guy behind the camera. And we've been talking, I said, you know, Brian, we should introduce you to the world at large and give the people that watch the show a chance to get to know Brian a little bit better. We've been working together how long now?
Seems like years.
Seems... Is it that bad? No. What, it's been like a little over a year or so, something like that. So he's been here through a full season at the shop when it's cold, like really cold. And then when it gets toasty hot, you videotaped the last year's meetup, which was kind of awesome.
Agreed.
We've had adventures together. We went to SEMA last year.
Truly an adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Vince Neal's to Twatto or whatever.
Strange bar,
That's
yes.
for us.
Yeah.
Circus. What else have we done?
Bought a Mustang.
We did. We bought a Mustang. Actually, what was that, last week?
Yep, parking lot.
That was last week in the parking lot of Walmart in Frankfort, Kentucky. That's the place to buy a Mustang, I gotta tell you. But yeah, first time I've gotten it up on a lift, I've kind of been itching to do that. We've been hip deep in the Barbara Waterman minivan transmission replacement that took us 3 days.
Yeah, that's been an adventure as well.
Yeah.
We've had adventures in the shop, outside the shop. It's just nothing but adventures with Eric the Car Guy, that's for sure.
So before you started on with quote-unquote Eric the Car Guy, I mean, tell us a little bit about your background, what you did, where you come from.
Oh, I was born a small... No, I won't go there. Camera-wise, just I went to school to be on camera, and I hated it. I just found out I wanted to be behind the camera, the creative stuff, the post-production, field production. Did television news for about 8 years and sports, and got really tired of the corporate world, for lack of a better phrase, I guess, and figured I could maybe do this on my own as a freelancer. And for the last 15 years. 15 years, wow. Actually, maybe 17 years? I don't know. Since 1996. I'm terrible at math, that's why I'm a camera person. But yeah, did the freelance thing, done a lot of sports, believe it or not, a lot of sporting events. Whether it's feature coverage, following a particular individual to a national championship game, whether it be basketball or college football. Been on some big stages and enjoyed it. And does some crazy live broadcasting too, racing. Back then it was still Sprint Cup. What is it now? I don't even know, some sort of cup.
Well, it's not named after cigarettes anymore.
That's when I started. It was cigarettes. And those were the good old days, not whatever. But yeah, that's when I started. Back when Wilkesboro was still a track they raced at. So, but yeah, a lot of racing. So there's some base knowledge, very little base knowledge about cars and whatnot. Very little, I might add.
But that's not, you know, your prerogative. It's more to figure out how to work the camera, which you do quite well.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're a producer, director. I call him the Les Stroud of auto repair videos because, as you realize, if you followed him since he started, the fact that he did all his camera work, total respect on my part that he did that, like Les Stroud in the Survivor Man series. That is not easy to do. And probably, he'll testify to this, that it elongated a repair by 3 times, 4 times. Yeah,
you coming along has cut my production time literally in half.
Well, what I hope didn't happen in that transition is you did such a good job of showing what was being done, whether it was with a GoPro or just setting the camera on your mini tripod up next to the bolt you were taking off. I hope we're still doing that. It is hard to do things efficiently and try to get that shot of where your hands are and whatever. And
there are times when I just want to shove him out of the way.
And he does. It happens. And it's like, dude, you're just so in my way right now. I'm like, dude, I so need this shot.
I need to move. I need to breathe.
It can be contentious to a degree. It's just
I think anybody that's ever been followed around by a camera has felt that at some point.
Yeah. It's just
let me breathe. Let me breathe.
Let me get this job
He's
done.
just trying to do his job.
For you guys.
Exactly.
Because as we discussed, he's almost more appreciative that I don't know mechanics and whatnot, because I'm a curious guy with a camera, and I'm trying to deliver that curiosity to you guys to show what he's doing, and I hope I am.
I think that curiosity certainly comes off in the way you shoot things, because you're focusing on the things you're curious about. It may not necessarily be what I want you to focus on at the time, but that's okay, because you're curious about what's going on over here. And also another thing Brian's brought to the table is that while I'm working, he says, hey, well, why did you do that? Or why is that purple? You know, stuff like that. And he just says that, and allows me to bring a little more exposition into the videos to try to, you know, make them a little more detailed and give you a bit more information.
Yeah, and he may have covered something, you know, a long time ago in a video far, far away that I never saw. So he may be repeating something if I do ask him a question, but there's some things that bear repeating often as far as repairing.
Well, there's still quite a few first-time viewers out there, so it's good that you have that. Even though in my head, and maybe a lot of the viewers' heads, they've seen it before, they know where I'm coming from. The fact that you're bringing it up again is a good thing in my opinion, because the first-time viewer, when they're looking at it for the first time, they don't know what's going on. They're curious just like you. The fact that you have that level of, we'll call it automotive ignorance, is actually helpful in a way. It's helpful. It's helpful.
Right.
So.
I think so. I hope so. Again, I try to get that. You know, it's funny. He goes, there's a couple of times I'll just be watching him do the repair with a camera in my hand, and he'll go, are you going to shoot this? It's like, no, actually I get kind of wrapped up in what he's doing, and in the repair itself, it's like, oh, I didn't know. And again, I don't know how that worked, or how when you pull apart a starter or catalytic converter or whatever it is we're tearing apart. It's like, oh, I didn't know that's what that looked like, and I'm sitting there staring at it instead of, you know, shooting it. I was like, kind of. No, but that's that curiosity.
Well, like I say, that curiosity plays off, and I think it works well for the videos, because once again, I think it allows that perspective of the viewers, because in essence, you are the eyes of the viewers.
Well, and so, that's important. I take that seriously, and I do.
That's why I think you've hung around. I mean, I've actually had other people that have come to me and said, hey, Eric, I want to help you, I want to shoot for you, that kind of thing. But I actually have quite a background in video production before I started doing Eric the Car Guy. And I kind of developed my own systems and my own ways of doing things, and I'm kind of a particular person, a little bit of a lone wolf.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So it was, well, what I'm trying to get to is it was difficult for me to make that transition from doing everything myself to bringing somebody into the most intimate space of, you know, this is what I do. And I'm very dedicated to the craft of what I do, and always have been, and I always wanted to put out the best stuff that I could get. So it's really nice to have somebody who has the professional background that you do, willing to come in, and really he's been helping me out in a big way.
And I understand that it's a trust. You know, you created this entity, this shop. This is all self. Again, amazing respect for what you've been able to pull together here. And yeah, you got to develop a trust, or you got nothing, and you're not just going to share your personal space in this environment with, you know, just some, I don't know, whatever.
Well, it's not going to be fun to work with somebody who's either not into it, or I have to overly direct them. I have to like mark their every move and say, hey, you be here, and basically you're a human tripod. That's not what I was looking for. Right. I was looking for somebody with that experience to say, I see that exposure's a little bit off, or that's out of focus, and maybe I can tweak that a little bit, or sound dropped out. You know, there's so many things involved in video production. There's 100 different things that can go wrong during the whole process.
Most of them do.
And most of them do. And having somebody with experience there to know, oh, well, that's what's wrong. The reason why the picture doesn't look right is because the exposure's off. You know, it takes somebody with experience, and then also experience with the equipment as well, to say, okay, I know what button to push.
Yeah.
But that being said, what has been your favorite venture into the Eric the Car Guy universe thus far?
Oh my gosh, favorite adventure. Honestly, it was, as far as video or just anything, what piece we did, what do you specifically? You know what?
You posed all those questions, and now I'm not so specific with a question. I'm just going to let you go. If you want to do video experience, go for it.
Let's see. Video-wise, I thought the greatest thing we did was the rear wing window motors on Barbara's van.
Nice, nice.
It was such a testament to just persevering through your own almost, this isn't going to work.
I didn't want to do that video.
And he didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it.
And I think that came out in the video.
I think it did too. I was skeptical. I was completely and totally skeptical when I did that video. I'm just like, really?
Completely.
All right, we got time. I don't want to waste the day. We're both here. Let's do something. So let's give this window thing a shot.
I think the line in the video that you used is, at this point, I have more time than sense. So let's go after this. And it was like,
that's exactly how
it was perfect. And just, it was such a lesson in perseverance. And it was a viewer-suggested attack approach. You know, hey, just tear things apart and see.
Clean the commutators
Literally,
and the brushes.
it was a connector. That was it. It was a connector. And all of a sudden, instead of hunting down through parts departments and whatever, you did a fix, a repair.
Bam.
Right here. So and the satisfaction on your face was directly opposed to the mopey. Like, I don't want to do this.
It changed my mood entirely. It really did.
And that's one other thing about this guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve. If you've seen his videos, which you have, you can tell if there's contempt towards a job. I'm not going to mention.
Maybe not. Because a lot of the contempt gets cut out. But there is contempt, and Brian gets to see it firsthand.
Sometimes it's unavoidable. But the moods are great, and they're authentic. I mean, that's another thing about him is his authenticity towards his viewers, towards projects. You know, it's kind of it's all compelling in itself. And
how did we get back to talking about me?
I don't know. So that's my favorite video that I can recall. Just from I don't know. It was just a journey of a video per se, as opposed to a 3-day transmission job, which is a journey in its own right.
Well, we did a radiator too.
Threw in a radiator, yeah, exactly. We tend to do that, targets of opportunity, when you're shoulder deep into a project. I just watch. Sometimes I get dirty.
Yeah, but
he gets dirty.
You know, I have held a camera all day, and when you're trying to hold a shot and you're trying to be that quote-unquote human tripod, that wears you out. Yeah. I mean, it's like, what would you rather do? A bunch of sit-ups or like a 5-minute plank? And it's the same kind of thing. It's trying to hold something in one position for a long period of time. It does fatigue you in the same way.
Yeah, in a way. And you're focusing on audio and there's a shot.
So what you do is not to be belittled in any way.
No, I don't.
But that being said, so favorite video or now favorite experience?
Oh, it has to be the when we took the Fairmont out to the drag trip.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
It was just
20 seconds, but yeah.
People looking at us like we're, you know, aliens and from outer space. Like, what are you doing out here with this lemon yellow thing?
Lemon yellow or poop,
I don't know, whatever.
baby poop.
I'm not sure what it is.
Custard,
I would say. And just shooting that was fun, and knowing that that's the before, knowing that there's going to be an after, knowing that there's something to compare it to. Yeah,
see the future.
This one. But that's just cool. That's cool to me. You have to enjoy the process to do any type of repairs. What you do, the process, and that's kind of the other thing, picking apart the process of. Because I would be totally intimidated with 95% of these projects, and I'm guessing some viewers would be too, just getting started.
That's the idea of the videos, is to basically be confidence builders and say, you know, hey, that idiot on the internet can do it. I can do it too. You know?
And it's splayed out in such a way, you know, in the idea of process, and there's a sense to it, and you are clear about that sense and putting fasteners where, you know, next to the part and in order, and leaving that trail of breadcrumbs that you mentioned.
This is where OCD can work for you kids.
Truly. But yeah, that confidence is critical, and I think just to get a job started is for me would be the biggest thing, and then but seeing it and understanding it and conveying it to the viewers, hopefully it's been cool.
All right, we've talked about the good experiences. What about the bad? Bad video, bad experience.
Bad videos so far. I don't know. I don't know. I don't shoot bad video. What do you?
I'm not saying you shoot bad video. All right. Well, darkest moments, whatever, things that might come to mind that might not.
Are you talking like just walking in here and getting the mood of Eric, the car guy, who just really had a crappy morning? And you talking about those things?
Well, that does happen.
Okay, because it can be a little. I've been a therapist before.
He has been a therapist. I've been your therapist before as well.
Yes, for sure. And sometimes we just, we'll vent and we'll just, we'll gripe a little bit, get that out of our system before we can even shoot or start a repair and shoot it, whatever. Yeah. Darkest, I don't have been dark. You've chucked some car parts.
Not at you.
Not at me, and thank you. So
they were your car parts.
Was my hub assembly, which was already destroyed, by the way, at that point, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, I did a shot put of a wheel up across the shop.
Yeah, the flashlight gets tossed a little bit, but
yeah, I threw that one.
I don't see darkness. Just it can get a little moody,
Yeah. And then I try to bring myself around to say, hey, this is the machine. You are my bitch.
Right. Show them who's boss. Get through it.
I've got thousands of dollars worth of tools that say you're gonna submit eventually. If not, I'm gonna bring out the torch.
Right.
And then it'll all be over.
The end all.
It'll all
red
be over.
wrench.
Yeah, the big red wrench
comes out. So no, I wouldn't say any dark.
Well, I was just trying to
juxtapose good and bad.
Precisely.
Okay.
Good word.
No, I can't think of anything particularly dark or weird, or what a day Now, there's been some days when, in the wintertime, when outside it's 7 degrees and it's going to be 9 inside the garage or whatever. But Mr. Heater.
Thank you, Mr. Heater. Mr. Heater changed my life and yours.
Pretty much saved us.
Yeah, it did. That and the lift.
And the lift.
The lift has made
not crawling around on cold
differences in production.
Cold concrete. It's saturating.
Sucks the life out of you.
Feet stay cold like a long time.
Yeah, on this concrete, it just draws the heat right from you.
No, nothing too dark. It's been. I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have me if you didn't trust me.
No, I do.
We didn't have some sort of.
I trust you implicitly, especially after what we've gone through, and we've sort of developed a rapport, sort of a back and forth. We're sort of playing video badminton as we're
right. We choreograph and move around each other a little better. We were bumping into each other early on, and whatever. That just takes time.
We're just trying to figure it out.
And again, your transition from doing it all yourself, and all of a sudden there's this body here who can think for himself every so often, and we kind of,
Well, honestly, now it's hard to shoot without you.
Well, good.
Because then I come back in, and I'm that guy again that has to set up every shot and every light and everything, and I'm just like,
where's Brian?
Really? I have to crawl out from underneath this car again,
right?
And do this again.
Yeah.
But it's all for the finished product, because I try to make the best videos that I can possibly make, and I certainly think Brian has added a lot to that. He's certainly, like I said earlier, streamlined production, and having him has been invaluable. You've even started doing some edits as well, some of the rough cuts.
Yeah, you've handed me over you handed me over the opportunity to do that. You didn't say do this. It's like, here, try.
Here's a computer.
I don't need this computer. Here, take it.
No, I got the computer for you.
Oh,
yeah. Well, that was purposely got for you.
Well,
thank you, eBay.
Wow, and I've also edited for the last 20 years as well, so I understand.
Well, wouldn't you agree that being able to edit what you shoot makes you better at what you're shooting?
Without question. When you have to observe your work, and I'm my worst critic, and you knew that. So when I'm looking at what I shot, and I'm like, I'm rolling my eyes going, in the edit process, I'm looking at what I shot and going, that could have been better. Ooh, that looks good. What did I do there? There's corners of this garage that just shoot better, they're lit better, and you kind of just have to find those little happy spots and work around the non-happy spots and do it without Eric necessarily dealing with it, because he's doing his thing.
That's the point. I'm trying to focus on the repairs. I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing. I'm trying to walk you along through the process. I may be, spouting some kind of exposition, whatever, saying, okay, I'm doing this because of this, blah, blah, blah. But you're there
worrying about the other stuff.
Exactly. And it's nice. It's a symbiosis that seems to have worked out quite well.
Yeah, so far. And yeah, like you said, the editing, once you start, you see that, and I see what I've shot, and trying to improve that at all times, and including showing better shots of what's happening inside that engine compartment, which is challenging. It's not.
No, it's not an easy
particularly
environment.
easy.
It's probably one of the worst environments to shoot in. It's bad enough to shoot car interiors, Those are the worst. Having to light a car interior sucks, or when you're outside, the backlighting and everything else, that sucks.
Brutal. Yeah, with a drive, those are always the outside drive on.
Those are kind of tricky, but
fun.
But when you're in an engine compartment, not only do you have those lighting issues, but it's confined as well.
Oh yeah, he's contorting, I'm contorting, like this contorting.
Yeah, if you could see what we're doing to get some of these shots, sometimes
it's kind of obscene and weird,
a little bit,
and that's why we don't show it.
Yeah.
Keep it
pretty much.
But yeah, so the editing has helped immensely, and like we were saying, you wouldn't have me in this environment if you didn't trust me. I wouldn't be here. I have a choice. I'm a freelancer.
Right.
I don't have to. So it's a two-way street. I enjoy it. I've learned things, and if you can't be at a job where you're growing and learning things, I just get really bored, and I have been anything but bored. In the world of Eric the Car Guy.
So. Well, that is good to hear, because it has certainly not been boring for me, and I'm glad you've been able to be a part of it too, because as I've said, you brought so much to the table.
Well, appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
No, I'm not shaking your hand. It's all dirty and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're getting to that part right now. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to Brian Kast, who is the cameraman, aka...
Oh, I also want to say I wear a hat all the time, and it looks like I have a mullet. So I just wanted to not wear a hat so people didn't think I was a total mullet guy.
Okay.
So anyway.
All right. I just made it easy. I used to have more than the mullet.
Right. That's all right. Anyway. Sorry.
Well.
Interrupting you.
But anyway, Brian, thank you, seriously, for all that you've contributed, all you've done with Eric the Car Guy and everything else. And
no worries.
I hope that you've enjoyed meeting Brian and getting to know him a little better, and knowing the man behind the camera, and also behind, at least the first run of the edits.
Right on.
So who knows where we'll go from there. Anyway, if you have automotive questions, I would ask that you head over to ericthecarguy.com. Welcome video there to tell you about stuff. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and now Instagram. I close each of my videos with...
Was it have fun?
Oh, see, you were mouthing the words. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty.
I heard that a million times. I can't believe I didn't know that.
I know. See you next time.